Okay, so listen, after reading that, I'm gonna say it for you. Today, I'm making a jalapeno popper mac and cheese. I want y'all to say that 3 times. Let's get it. Okay, before we get started, you guys see we do a little bit of prep work. You know what I mean? We gotta dice down these jalapenos, get our onions done. You gotta make that bacon. Listen, when you make that bacon, don't forget, we gotta save that bacon fat. That's gonna be the key, especially when the fall comes. Now, don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now, let's go ahead and start our oven. Let's go ahead and get it preheated. You wanna hit bake, 350 degrees, and hit start. Now, I put a little heat underneath the bottom of here, right? Because what we wanna do is we wanna melt our butter. Now we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna wait till that melts. Now that we got that completely melted, now I'm getting ready to add my jalapenos and my onions. Now I want to make sure all of it's got butter on it. I'll make sure I raise my fire up to a medium flame. And what you want to do is just stir these, and then we're going to let them work a little bit and start to, soften up. Look, I'm going to give you guys a pro tip. This is really for all of our people who are like new, venturing out, and starting their cooking journey. When I say soften, listen, whatever you're using to stir around, you can feel when you first put it in there, it's gonna have a little, you can feel every piece of diced, veggie, hitting it. As they starting to soften, now you move it around, it's not so hard. Then if you want to, you can just tap it over the top and you'll see. But you can feel that they softening up. Now once we achieve, our veggies, they nice and soft, you know what I mean? We're not rendering them all the way down. I'm gonna be using my garlic press, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple of cloves in here, right? So we'll give this a squeeze. Look at this right here. Oh, yeah. Now notice I put it right here on the top, right? So I don't have to worry about it burning, but it's enough butter and everything in there. Just put it in there. Now you just want to stir this until it becomes fragrant, right? Which is usually once the garlic touches anything hot, it kicks back a fragrance that just says hello, right? So we'll just move this around just like you see. Look at that. That's a lot of yumminess down in there. Now after about a minute of, keep stirring and keeping that garlic working, now we add the flour. Now you guys know this is like one of my favorite parts right here, because now, it makes me think about, anytime I do a roux, I think about, gumbo, right? I enjoy making it. Too bad you guys not my neighbor, because I'd be making it for y'all all the time, right? So I got my flour in here. We good. We want to cook that flour taste out. We want that to marry with, our jalapeno poppers, onions and garlic and that butter, right? All right. Now once your mixture becomes a golden brown, you know what I mean? You're gonna see a little tint of green. That's from the jalapeno pepper. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna go ahead and add. And don't forget, I'm on a medium flame. So now I'll start adding. Look at that right there. I start adding my milk. Right? You just want to continue to stir it. Right? You want to get all of this in here. Now, if you knew, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with staying on a medium. Right here is where I would go to a medium high just to get it to a boil, and then I would quickly reduce it down to a simmer. Right? But there's nothing wrong with just keeping it at a medium. We just wait till it heats up, and then we start searing our bubbles. But the main thing is you want to keep, stirring this. You don't want to see no lumps. Look at that right there. That's nice. Now I'm on a medium, right? This is good right here. You can see it'll start to try to thicken up. When I get to this point right here, this is when we want to add everything. The rest of my ingredients, as far as my W sauce, garlic powder, right? Let me turn this down to a low, right? Let's get this going. Then my little seasoning here. Now, I use my A as a salt, pepper, garlic, right? As an all-purpose, but this is where we're gonna get our flavor from, folks. You gotta be able to do that. Now, I'm finna change from my spatula. We finna work with this whisk now, right? Remember, I just switched everything to low. Look at this right here. You can look at the color change. That's when you start adding that seasoning to it. You know what I mean? Now you're able to see it, right? Now, I'm getting ready to add some more pepper to it, because we gotta have flavor, folks. We did say mac and cheese, and if you take it somewhere, everybody wanna know who made the mac and cheese and who made the what? Who made the potato salad? Now, as it's starting to thicken up, look, I like to add myself a generous pinch of salt. Just one. That's all we need. Just enough to enhance the flavors that we put inside of here. And you can see them jalapenos. You know what? I could have put a couple of more in there. I'm keeping this a little bit on a reasonable side. All right. Remember, we're still on low. Now we're going to put a couple of ounces of this Philadelphia cream cheese in here, right? So if you guys got your 8 divided by 4, and that's what you put in there. If it's a little bit more, don't worry. it'll all work. It'll work itself out. Now you want to get that whisk and go ahead and let that incorporate itself inside of there. And then next we're gonna add our cheese, right? Now remember, I grated my own cheese. That's the best way, folks. Just put a little bit in here at a time. Might look like a lot, but I told you, I measured it out, 8 ounces. Now when you start adding all that air to it and all of that, it'll make it look like it's big because it's shredded, but we wanna have at least 8 ounces. Okay, so you just wanna keep it under the heat till everything is nice and smooth. Look, I done turned everything off. Look at this right here. This is a nice creamy sauce right here. I hope you guys will be able to see it. You know what I mean? But it's nice and cheesy. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our pasta. Hey, I see it trying to get out of here. You know what I mean? I only needed 8 ounces, you know? So we're gonna go ahead and coat it. I'm gonna get it all in here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in like a, and when I say we're gonna prepare it, we're gonna put it in a, like a ceramic dish. Anything that's oven safe, right? We want to get that in there. But look at how this is turning out, folks. You guys tell me you don't want to make this. I mean, I would say something ain't right, right? Now I did use all of my cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and grate some more because I like to put a little bit on the top, you know, when I'm done, right? My oven is already up. I got my oven safe dish ready. But look at this right here. Then once you got everything incorporated, look at that right there. It already looks good, right? In our prepared dish, meaning that I went ahead and sprayed this with a non-stick spray. Those of you guys that's doing it old school, you know, we can always use what? Butter, folks, right? Look at this right here. Now, we not done. Now, I know my oven is ready. It's screaming for it right now. I know that looks good the way it is, but we not done. Now, don't forget, we did that, you know, that bacon, right? So I'm gonna cut this bacon down. You guys can crumble it, you know what I mean, however you wanna do it. But I'm gonna take it and, you know, do mine, you know, the way I would like to do it. You guys do whatever you guys would like. Make sure you got a sharp knife if you're gonna do it. All right, so we'll just run this across here like that. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get myself a bowl, which I have right here to the side. We're gonna put all of this in here. Now I'm getting ready to grate some of this Parmesan because we're gonna put this in there on top. That's like a garnish / texture and to give it some color, right? So once you have it all, you know, cut up the way you want to, let me go ahead. We only need about a couple tablespoons. Then we're gonna add ourselves about a third cup of some panko chips, right? Now you guys can get creative right here on your panko chips and, you know, use season. You can season yourself. You want to add something to it. But you see how I'm putting this on here like this? Look at this. Yes, sir. Then once you got them, you know, got everything pretty much, you know, incorporated together, just go ahead and sprinkle yourself some of this over the top of it, right? Now that panko gonna give it a little bit of a crusty look and feel to it, you know what I mean? Make it a little bit on the crunchy side. The bacon is all good. But I want you guys to let me know, just at this point right now, what would you have done to make this more, you know, I guess, over the top? But you tell me. Now, this little bit that I'm gonna save, you know, for when it come out, right? Now, I got some seeds here. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some, you know, in here. I don't care if the seeds on here or not. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of the panko and the parm over the top. Better yet, let's do this. Now we go in the oven. All right, so look, I just took it out. It actually, when I looked at it at, you know, at 30 minutes, I decided to let it go about another 10. So I'm gonna say anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes. But what I wanted to do was brown some of the edges and get a little bit of that brown. If you guys can see right there on that on the jalapeno, look at those. They dried out just right. Now, let me let it cool. Let me take some pictures, and then we finna go from there. So this is it. I transferred this over to another, you know, another bowl. This is way big of a portion that, you know, somebody should be eating. But listen, I'm not finna over talk it. I'm finna get in here and, ooh, my goodness. Those breadcrumbs on here, that adds a nice little, you know, texture to it. You know, you got the jalapeno taste to it. I've already sampled it. I can tell you it's great, but I'm gonna go ahead and not over talk it. Cheers, y'all. Something about that bacon, give it like a little smoky flavor. Oh man, this right here, fire, folks. So listen, this is my latter part of my years. I didn't come on to this mac and cheese. This right here is fire. If you guys are tired of making the same old, and I got it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you want to put something out to make them say, this is it right here. Now, tell me this. Down in the comment section below, let's talk about it and tell me, when would you serve a jalapeno pepper, mac and cheese, to your guests? Now, with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what I'm about to do, folks. I'm about to sit down and eat. I'm out. Peace.